In this video, I'm going to show you how to edit videos vertically so they're ready for YouTube Shorts or TikTok right in iMovie. I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. In iMovie, the first way we're going to do is we're going to assume that we have shot a vertical video and edit the vertical video and then export the vertical video. So for that particular application, you're going to say File, New App Preview. It has this message showing you what it does. I don't need to read it anymore. All right, I'm in the app preview and I've named this vertical app preview because this is going to be vertical the whole way through. So I've got a couple of clips here of Miss Piggy. This one is vertical, which I've labeled vertical, and the other one is horizontal. So let's grab the vertical and drag it into the timeline. And now because we have imported a vertical into app preview, over here you can see that this is a vertical orientation. And so I just got a little bit of content there where I was petting her on the patio. And so now the great thing about this is that you have almost every option available to you to edit as you normally would in iMovie. The titles, though, are reduced. We don't have the same number of titles as we did before, but we have all the backgrounds and transitions and everything else that we can think of. Now, one thing that I really like here is that we have three movable bars. So you have a movable color title here. This one has got like a blue background, but you can certainly change this to what you want. You can set a custom color. And when you have it where you can see these three bars here, then you can click this and drag this any place you would like. And you can enter in, whatever. So that's one way you could do it. And then we also have some others here that are pretty handy. And you can see that this one has a black bar, and then we also have a white bar that's fade. They have other, you have some other options here, but this particular one I don't quite understand because it just covers the entire image below. But I do like these three movable ones. So a little bit less options here, but these are very handy. And again, just like any other video, we can go in and we can add a voiceover. This is a voiceover test. Okay. All right, and you can have the full editing capabilities that you're used to in iMovie. And so that is very handy, very powerful, and I really like it. So how do we get it out of here? Well, you can just say File, Share, App Preview. And here it's 1080 wide, 1920 tall, which is vertical, and then next, and then just export it. It's just as simple as that. And now that is ready to go right to YouTube Shorts or TikTok or anything else that you require a vertical for. So very straightforward, and we can just go ahead and export. I'll just save it. Look at the little progress bar here. Now here we have our vertical final movie, and it will have everything that we put in there. Here's our test titles. I scrolled by them real quick. And there they are, as you would expect, vertically. Problem solved. All right, let's move on to the next method. To illustrate the issue here of why App Preview does not work when your content is in fact horizontal, I've just quickly created another App Preview. And if we go back to our data here and we look at Miss Piggy in the horizontal orientation, look what you have the problem here. This is horizontal. So when you go to export it, there's no way that you can make this vertical. It is horizontal because we have horizontal original content. It's going to export horizontal even though we are in App Preview 1 or mode. So how do we solve this problem? So I'll just create a new one. I'll delete this one. It's just say File. We'll have to go back to the projects. In this case, I just do a new movie. Okay, and so Now we have to do a workaround, and you may have seen some of these solutions before. We're going to bring in Miss Piggy on the horizontal. We're going to go up here to this tab, and then we're going to flip it this way. So now we're going to do our editing horizontally. And we have these black bars, and we don't want those. So I'll show you how to get rid of them. You go to the preview thing again and say crop to fill, and it'll automatically have a window like this. And now you can take your horizontal content and you can crop it. And as you can see in the preview, it is now cropped to pretty much how I want it. And so if you don't like this crop, you can move it around this way and that way. Now, what is the limitation with this method? Well, the titles, because if you bring in titles now, here you have all of these titles, well then now they're in the wrong orientation. And there's no real way to flip a title in iMovie. So you are limited in what you can and cannot do. Titles don't work very well with this method, but everything else does. You still have transitions, you still have voiceover, you can still do all of this type of editing, and so there are advantages. Test voiceover. So now you can do most things you want, but not all. So at this point, when you're all done with your editing, of course, minus the titles, then you say File, Share, File, just like we did before. We'll just call this short that is horizontal, so that I understand that I have to do some work. We'll save it. Now I'm back over at my desktop. Here's short that's horizontal. If we open it up, Miss Piggy is the wrong way. So we're going to double click and open it with QuickTime. All right, and then we're going to do Edit, Rotate Right, and then we're going to say File, Export As, and then let's just, for demonstration purposes, we'll just take it to 720. We'll say the short that is now vertical. Now when we look at this, we have a short that is vertical and ready to upload with no titles. So if you want to add titles, then you're going to have to use a third-party app for that. Or you could maybe just dump this right into Canva, and because it's already vertical, and then you can add your title and then re-export it. But you've done the bulk of your work here in iMovie. The hard part is the voiceover, the cutting, the trimming, the splitting and all of that. That's really the hard part. Because if you want to go over to Canva, I haven't found an effective way to do voiceovers. You can add audio, but that means that you have to take a guess at it and do all that stuff off of Canva, then upload it and try and marry it, and it's just a nightmare. So the best way is to have all of the voice and everything done in iMovie, and then if you just have to have the titles for your short, then you can do that with another application. So these are the two methods that you can use. One is if it's all vertical, you just do app preview. And then if you shot a horizontal and you want it vertical, then you do the rotation method.